This is a very important part of my coaching program that either gets ignored or is treated with condescension. People think I'm a kind of a pretentious person for bringing in different names for moves, and I often use old Japanese names where applicable, and I think people perhaps misunderstand what I'm trying to do when I do that. My point is that whenever you look at what most people call expertise in our world, expertise is very often, in fact, I would say in the majority of cases, just the ability to make finer and finer grained distinctions on a complex subject matter that other people don't make. Okay. You've all heard the cliche about Eskimos and snow. Okay. When normal people talk about snow, there's only one word for snow, there's snow. But Eskimos, I don't know if this is true or not, but according to legend, have a vast number of terms for snow based on the quality of the snow, whether it's powdered or whether it's ice dominant or what have you. So they have around 30 different terms for snow. Now, when we just talk about snow, we just have one generic term, snow, to refer to every single case. But to people who make their living and who live or die based upon their knowledge of weather conditions, they need to make very fine-grained distinctions. And so the simple overarching concept of snow for us is adequate for our purposes, but it's not adequate for an Eskimo hunter who, if he makes a mistake about the nature of weather, may not be successful on his hunt or may even die out in the elements. And so they become experts in snow, and as their language reflects that. They have many, many terms that reflect the different natures of snow that they operate in.
If I may interject for one moment.
Yes.
You're speaking my language. I was a ski racer up until my sophomore year in college. We used to pray to the snow gods, and we had names for every kind of ice, snow, ruts you could imagine. So I am right with you.
That's funny. But this extends across the board. Anytime you talk to an expert on a subject matter, the first thing you notice is that they make very fine-grained distinctions. And so for what seems like one thing, they might have 10 different terms which denote slight distinctions in that subject matter. And as a result of their much finer distinctions, they make finer judgments, and they can express their knowledge to each other through language. Imagine you and I were engaged in the repair of an automobile, okay? And neither one of us has any expertise whatsoever in the automotive industry. We would be so inefficient, not only because of our ignorance, but because we couldn't even communicate effectively. When the car is in pieces on the garage floor in front of us, and I asked you to hand me some piece of, I didn't even know the name for it. How am I going to communicate to you to bring that to me so I can start work?
Right.
But if I say to you, hey, bring me a spark plug, and you come over and I say, bring me a carburetor, and you know exactly what to go to. And then when it comes time to work, I say, bring me a screwdriver. Screwdriver, well, that could mean different things. I say to you, bring me a Phillips screwdriver. You go, okay, that makes sense. Now bring me a flathead screwdriver. And so one concept, screwdriver, many distinctions within it. You have an Allen wrench, a flathead screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver.
Right.
Now we're becoming more efficient as we work as a team. Okay, because our fine-grained distinctions in language, and because of the fact that we have a common language that we use to communicate with each other, which makes those fine-grained distinctions. In time, we can become a highly efficient team precisely because of that language advantage that we have. So the first thing I do when I coach students is I get them talking the same language. Everyone comes in the room, they all speak the same language. They learn to make extremely fine-grained distinctions. My students are famous for the use of a leg control method, ashigurami. Okay? Now, when I began jiu-jitsu, there was only one form of ashigurami. You just learned the basic ashigurami, and everything was done from there. as time went by, we learned that there are many forms of Ashigurami. And I had to denote names for each one of those variations so that when it's time for me in a world championship final to throw out information to my student, I don't just say, do that Ashigurami thing that we did a couple of weeks. No, there's a precise, okay? Go into double 50 Ashigurami. I can say that in 2 seconds. And now my student knows exactly what I want, and he'll go right in and secure it immediately. And so, yes, you're absolutely right. Language is a huge part of my coaching curriculum. It's not just about, appearing to be like an expert or something. It really does make a difference in performance. When two people can communicate very, very quickly and make very fine-tuned distinctions across a complex subject matter, they're going to be a very powerful team. You get a room full of people all speaking the same language, all with a very precise knowledge of their complex subject matter and making fine-grained distinctions that other people aren't making. That those people they're going to get ahead.